I'm going to respond to the statement that Pam Ice read last night at the board meeting. I'm going to let it play and stop at the relevant portions and respond. This may be a couple of videos long. I'm limited to videos less than 10 minutes. So please look for the other videos after you watch this one. Here we go.
And then finally tonight, I was asked by some board members to make a statement about our most current issue that we've been facing. And so this is from a statement from the board that I want to read to the community. To the Cameron community, the Cameron R1 School Board has heard your concern about materials found in the school library. We attempted to address this concern with established policies and procedures by using review committees. 2 committees of 5 individuals of staff and volunteer parents reviewed approximately 10 books.
I challenged Pam after the meeting on this statement. The records that I have received from the school district indicate that that number is closer to 20. They only ever responded to 8 in writing to me, so I'll come off of it. But the committees reviewed far more than 8 books. So here we go.
That were read and reviewed over approximately 3 months. However, after the committees reported their findings to the community via the school website, dissatisfaction was expressed, and committee members, the school district, students, parents, and others were targeted and bashed publicly.
Okay, we're going right immediately to playing the victim here. Understand that these words, some of them may have been strong. I don't know exactly what she's talking about because she doesn't give any examples. It is the right of the people to express their concern to redress a grievance about the elected officials of our public entities. This is a public body. It is a public school. It is our right to express our concern about the inaction of the Cameron School District. That doesn't make them a victim.
About the results. The Board of Education recognized the volunteer members were being singled out publicly in our community, and the process and results were causing discord.
This entire body has sworn an oath to support and defend the constitutions of the United States and of Missouri, and is somehow trying to make the case here that our founding fathers, when they designed this great nation and based it upon our ability to debate items about our public government, our public entities that concern us greatly, is somehow bad. That is literally the foundation of our nation, is based upon our ability to debate the items that concern us. She is turning that into the school district being a victim.
The intent of that procedure was to evaluate and resolve the issues, not to target or disparage the opinions of volunteers for our district.
I disagree with Pam here entirely. Our group told this body in April that the policy that they were following would not effectively do anything about the sexually explicit content that was in our library. They knew that before they even started reviewing the books. They did it anyway because they were trying to buy time.
So in August, the Cameron R1 School Board rescinded the policies and associated procedures to eliminate volunteers from unnecessary scrutiny.
This is likely a partial truth. I believe that they may in part have done it for these reasons. What they're not telling you is that when they referred to everybody on the board during the August meeting, they needed to talk to the attorneys. The reason that they need to talk to the attorneys is because they have been caught with their hands in the cookie jar. I believe that they have knowingly violated the Missouri Sunshine Law with those committees. They rescinded the policy because they violated the law. They're not going to tell you that they violated the law, but that's the rest of the story.
And decided to review the book concerns with a different approach during a special called meeting on August 29th. First, the board reiterated the need for parent involvement in their students' education and asked the administration to continue to provide the parent media restriction form for parents who request to restrict access to certain materials for their students.
Not to beat a dead horse here, but they know that that form is not a good option. The parents are responsible to know the content of thousands of books that are in that library to be able to prohibit their child from being exposed to sexually explicit material. The burden is on the parents. The parents didn't put the books there. The school did.
Additionally, the board moved to direct the superintendent, assistant superintendent, and applicable principal to review the current disputed materials, including those previously reviewed. We requested that they review the books through policy regulation IIAC-R1.
Go read that policy, the top paragraph of it. When you read that policy, you will see that it instructs the principal, a librarian, and a teacher to be the one to conduct these book reviews. What the board has done is instructed the superintendent to not comply with board policy. They did not amend the policy to authorize the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, and the principal to review those books. They directed them to not comply with board policy. They can't do that, and neither can the superintendent, but they refuse to correct it.
Instructional media schools, media centers, school libraries, selection and reconsideration of materials, the district's vision and mission statement, the district's CSIP, Continuous School Improvement Plan, Policy AC, Prohibition Against Illegal Discrimination, Harassment, and Retaliation, and the Missouri State Law. They are currently working through this process. The school board recognizes the concerns of the community and understands that some material with mature content may need to be restricted based on a student's age.
Finally, a little common sense. Here's the problem, though. Nowhere in the policy, that policy IIAC R1, go read it, is anything that gives them the ability to restrict a book based on vulgarity or pornographic material. It's not in there. It doesn't exist. So in order for them to find a book that needs to be restricted, they're going to need to amend that policy. They haven't done that, and they've instructed Matt Robinson to go ahead and start the process anyway. In December, when they're going to give us an update, there won't be any changes because there is no language in any policy that will restrict content if it's not age appropriate.
And we support this approach. However, this process will take some time. Our administration and staff are extremely busy running the daily operations of the school of approximately 1,600 students and 300 staff. Our administrators wear many hats, and while we recognize the 80 disputed materials are a concern to some in the community, we cannot allow this concern to jeopardize our core mission of educating our students.
Folks, the fight about our test scores and how horrible they really are, the low percentage of students that are grade level proficient, that's going to be a fight that's coming in the future. Stand by.
Currently, we have asked administrators to give us an update on the 80 disputed materials at our December meeting. Let me stress, we have asked for an update, and the process may not be completed at that time. Until then, we will not be responding to the barrage of emails, communications, though we are reviewing and considering feedback as part of the new process.
If they gave answers of any kind, of any substance, to the questions that we asked during a board meeting, we would not have to continually ask for answers. They're not giving us any answers. All they're saying is that we're going to follow policy. They followed policy for 6 months, and then they got rid of them all, and we're starting over. We still don't have answers. We need answers.
Additionally, requests to speak about the topic at board meetings will be restricted as allowed by state statute and board policy, which means that because this topic was addressed at the board meeting on August 29th, it will not be placed on the agenda again before November 29th.
The reality of this means the December school board meeting is the next available time that you will be able to address the board about a book concern.
This does not mean that the work is not being done or that communications from stakeholders are not being considered. We have heard from you, and we must allow the process to work. Outrage, threats.
Threats are a pretty serious allegation. If threats were truly made, I hope that the school district has filed a complaint. It's not acceptable. If that complaint has been made, I believe that they should also make available the record of the threat. to prove that there truly was a threat. Otherwise, what the district is doing here is fear-mongering.
Fear-mongering, pointing fingers, intimidation, continual complaint filings.
This comment confuses me. If a complaint is warranted, if somebody has done something wrong at the school district, I would like to believe that they would welcome the complaint so that they can correct the problem.
Numerous public shaming and manipulation and gotcha moments on social media.
Again, this person has sworn an oath to the constitutions of Missouri and the United States. She is taking umbrage with the exercise of our First Amendment right. It is our right to ridicule a public official who is failing in their duties. It's a right.
Or the like will not speed up the process or advance this concern. We have heard from you, and we will look at the content of this material as it relates to the education of our students. Parents, in the meantime, please remember you can always restrict your student from reading any library materials by filling out a form, and remember that that form is held in confidence.
I cannot tell the school district I do not want my child to read sexually explicit material. How are we going to ensure that our children are not exposed to this content if they have not provided us the resource and the ability to do so? They know that this is not an answer, but this is the best they can come up with. That's why they're pushing it.
Additionally, since this has become a national and state issue, we will continue to look for guidance on how to handle these issues effectively and equitably for our students and community. We can all hope and advocate that a standardized national rating system for books can be developed to assist in the process of ensuring that schools, parents, and students are able to make informed decisions regarding the selection of and access to library materials.
I have spent a significant amount of time looking into such a resource. Currently, it doesn't exist. I can't find anywhere anybody that's even working on such a resource. Maybe it's out there, maybe I'm just not finding it. If the Cameron School District knows of such a resource that is being worked on, they should come to the community and tell us about it. All they are giving us is a theoretical hope that somebody is going to create such a resource.
However, our local district does not have the resources or the time to independently develop such a system. We must review what we have and proceed accordingly.
We also need a system to identify the books that we haven't found yet. Since the 80 dirty books were found in the Cameron High School library, we have found approximately 10 more. They have no system, no policy in place that will prohibit more books like A Stolen Life from being added to the library. Our problem is not limited to the 80 books that we currently have identified. It's much bigger, and they're not taking any steps to fix the entire problem.
You have challenged us with a concern. We hear you and will attempt to work through this concern in an equitable and objective manner.
All of the policies that they're going to use to review these books are not objective. They are all subjective. It is up to the people who are involved in the review to determine how to apply the standards in that policy to the books. The entire thing is subjective, but here they're telling you that they're going to be objective. Then they need to rewrite the entire policy.